Hey, welcome to your pregame Leaf Show brought to you by Keep Your Head Up Hockey. Welcome, Jamie, Coach Nose, and Brennan, all here to bring some knowledge and get you all set up for the game today. And it's a big one. You know why? Happy Hockey Day in Canada. A great day for families to come together and watch some puck, and it's going to be some fun today. That's for sure. I got all the Canadian teams playing against each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. But the most important game is the one tonight, and it's Toronto on the road in Vancouver Canucks house. It's going to be a great game. So let's get started here with a little bit of knowledge for you to get you ready for the game. So Leafs just come off, I'd say, a pretty big win. We needed to get a win, and we finally got one against Calgary. Huge game for Austin Matthews, getting another hat trick. I think it's like third or fourth of the year. There's 35th, 36th, and 37th goals coming in that game in a 4-3 win. And also, a game Thursday against the Coyotes, winning 2-1. So both teams on a one-game win streak. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll throw a little bit of knowledge out there for you as well. Goalie matchups tonight confirmed, going to be Martin Jones in net, 9.51, 2.4 goals against average with a 920 save percent for one of the best in the league. 2 shutouts as well. And then we've got Thatcher Demko. What a year he's having for the Canucks. 23, 8-1, 2.42 goals against average, a .919 save percentage with 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 shutouts this year for Demko. Thankfully, Samsonov, or like I said, I like to call him Samson No Save, is not starting in this one. He's 5 wins, 3 losses, with an 863 save percentage. Not good at all. I'm going to throw it out quickly. I'm going to have a Coach Nose take over here for a bit, but I say the Leafs got to finally give Dennis Hildeby a chance. He's our 2021 4th-round pick for the Leafs. He's put together a masterful start to the 2023-24 season for our baby Leafs. And a 943 save percentage with 3 wins and 2 shutouts. So he's playing really good for the Marlies. And I say finally give him a chance. But Jones, our number one guy, if we're going up against the second place team in the whole league, we got to play our number one guy, and that's Jones. Coach Nose, go ahead. What do you think about tonight's game?
Yeah, I was hoping the lineup was going to be released so we could have a look at it. But as we record the show on Saturday morning here with the boys, we all got busy schedules today, but we didn't get a chance to get a look at the lineup. I doubt there's going to be many changes in or out because it's a road trip. So there's only certain guys on that trip anyways. But in terms of the goaltending, that's what it's going to come down to, because all the expectation is that this is going to be a high scoring game. Yes, Demko's got the 4 shutouts. I would say they're probably more like team shutouts than a Demko shutout. He hasn't been lights out this year. And the win that we had against this team back on November 11th, Sammy was in net. So the goaltending is going to be an interesting selection for Keith tonight. If he goes with Jones or if he gives Hildebeest a chance, I don't know. Against Vancouver, it's one of the top teams. You want to play your hot goalie against the best team in the league, and especially one that's going to be a lot of scoring, or expected to be a lot of scoring. So who knows? It depends. If Jones isn't on his game, maybe Hildeby does go in the net. But isn't Sammy not backing up tonight?
He is backing up. He's their goalie on the road with them. So Sammy will be there to back up Jones. But I think Jones plays great. I'm guessing he'll let maybe 1 or 2 goals in, because boy, oh boy, we've got some firepower for the Canucks, but we'll see what happens. Brendan, what do you think about this team, the Vancouver team that we're going up against here tonight? The Leafs, kind of having an iffy last 10 games and finally getting a win on the board against Calgary. But what do you think? How are they going to do tonight in Vancouver? Give us your honest opinion.
It's gonna be a difficult game. Obviously you're going on the road against one of the best teams in the league, provenly, and a lot of firepower on both sides. And I really think You guys both touched on it. It's going to come down to goaltending, and there's going to be a few bounces here and there. Interested to see what the line is actually on the over/under on this one, because be tempted to throw a little bit on the over, to be honest with you. But I mean, you look at the guys that are firing on all cylinders right now, like Austin Matthews, like you're talking about, 8 points in the last 5 games with 6 goals. And then you got Pettersson on the other side with 7 in the last 5 and 5 goals. I mean, that's going to be fireworks, boys. I'm excited to watch it. And I'm usually just excited to watch the Leafs lose, but I think on this one, I'm excited to watch it both ways, no matter who wins.
Yeah, it should
I'll
be
be
a pretty good
excited
game.
for a couple games tonight. I'm going to the Sens game, so we'll see the Vancouvers.
That's early, isn't it?
We see the Winnipeg Jets play the 3 p.m. game.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one. So I'm excited to take my sons there and go check that out. And then I'll come home and
watch for the upset, baby.
Game. So 2 of the top Canadian teams. It's good to see a couple Canadian teams, 2 or 3 Canadian teams in the tops here this year too, which is nice.
Wish we were one of
unexpectedly. Yeah, we should. Yeah, well, you should have been, but
we gave up.
Everybody, as everybody knows, me and Dylan are Leaf fans, but Brennan, he's an Ottawa fan, diehard. So we'll talk a little bit about the keys to success, but I'm going to touch on some points for these 2 teams because it's interesting. So our core 4, as we all know, we've employed those guys as basically 60% of our cap space on the team. But really interesting to know, Nylander leads the team with 59 points, 21 goals, 38 assists. Matthews right behind, 37 goals now, 17 assists, 54 points. Marner, 19 goals, 29 points, 48 or 19 goals, 29 assists, 48 points. And Riley right there too, 7 goals, 28 assists, and 35 points. And Tavares, 12 goals, 22 assists for 34 points. So those guys are scoring most of our points, which they should. They really should. I'm really impressed with Riley's year. He's had a really good start to the year as well. Kind of left off like he played in the playoffs. But if we go to the Canucks as well, look at these stats. So JT Miller, 20 goals, 41 assists, 61 points. Boy, oh boy. Pettersson, 24 goals, 35 assists, 59 points. Hughes, 11 goals, 42 assists, 53 points. And Bozer, 27 goals, 19 assists, and 46 points. And that is how you win hockey games, is having your best players to really perform on a night in, night out basis, because JT Miller basically getting a point per game. And, it's going to be hard to stop that firepower tonight. What do you think here, Dylan? What do you think is going to be our keys to success? How are we going to stop all that firepower from the Vancouver Canucks?
Look, obviously I'm a Leaf fan, but I love our chances against teams like this. I think we step up to the plate against the better teams, a team that has a high-powered offense against another team that has a high-powered offense. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a barn burner back and forth, but I think that's a better matchup for this team, this Leaf team, for the simple fact that it's going to be their style of hockey. Open ice, a lot of passing, a lot of finesse. We like to move the puck and do all the fancy stuff, which has gotten us in trouble this year a lot because we're trying too much to make that fancy play, and it's not quite hard-nosed hockey. So I like how we line up against a team like this. I feel like when we lose games, we get frustrated against defensive teams that shut down. So one of the keys to Vancouver's game is going to be frustrating Austin Matthews. And because as soon as he scores one, it goes right to his head, right to his legs, right to his hands. He's going to get 2 or 3 a night. Like, that's just proven over and over again. This guy gets one and he's unstoppable. And the keys also for the Leafs, like they had against Vancouver back in November, is secondary scoring. Nyes, Bertuzzi, Domi, these guys have a chance, while the top D-man for Vancouver are shutting down the Matthews, Marner, Nylander guys. It's these guys that have to come in there and dig hard and work hard against their Vancouver's third and fourth lines and get some bangers, get some dirty goals tonight.
And what do you got to say about that, Brennan?
I really do believe that it could come down to a few bounces. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be a hard nosed game. And I think when it comes right down to it, I think my prediction is this: I think that the Leafs actually get it done tonight, and I hate to say that. I truly do. Can we edit that?
Yeah, edit it and put it on YouTube as a short.
But
TikTok.
I do have a feeling just Matthews having the hot hand. Mind you, Pedersen's playing just as well, in my opinion. But I feel like the Leafs go in there and get one here. It's going to come down to whether or not the goaltending stands up. But we'll see.
We'll
We'll see
see.
what happens. It should be interesting to see how it plays out for sure. Entertaining.
I hope it gets a little gritty tonight. So the Leafs, listen to this, guys. The Leafs have had 12 fights this year. That's it. Only 12. I don't know where that ranks. I never looked up where that ranks in terms of the rest of the teams, but it's probably not that many considering all the games they played. If you think about it, certainly not as many fights as the Sens, I don't think. I think they had that one game where there was like 10 fights in one game. But anyways, my point is here is two of those fights were against Vancouver. It's the only 2-fight night they've had. It was Domi and Gio, the old man Gio, going fisticuffs. So you know that you don't expect that kind of stuff against a West Coast team like Vancouver, a team you never play. There's no rivalry there, but it seems that things got heated up, and when boys like Gio fight, I think it helps the boys on the Leafs bench to get going, right? When the old man's taking it under his own power to start throwing fisticuffs, then you know that the boys are going to love that. And Gio's in the lineup again, so let's go.
Yeah.
This team's got to stand up for themselves, and Vancouver loves to throw the hits. Like they're a really physical team. I love how Vancouver plays. So really, they're a bang and crash team. If you're cutting across to the center of the ice and you got your head down, you're going to get smashed. You're absolutely going to get smashed by this defensive core. They got some big guys that'll put you on the ice, and you got to be careful out there. But if there is a huge hit that's made, the Leafs can't stand for it. They've got to drop the gloves. Somebody's got to come in and show that they're not going to put up with it. And that's what happened last game against Vancouver. And we'll see if it happens tonight. I hope it does. I love fighting. I hope that it stays in the game for a long time to come, because really that's the best way to solve problems on the ice and to really, say, I've had enough. And the Leafs, for the most part, sometimes they have trouble with that, right? Is standing up for themselves. So I hope that they do it tonight. I know it's going to be a rough one tonight. There's definitely going to be a couple fights, I hope, and also some big hits thrown by both sides. So it should be good. Should be good. But we'll go back to the keys to success there.
That said, Jamie, I don't think
yeah.
Nick Robertson's going to be in the lineup tonight. I think it's going to be they're going to put in some tougher characters, some guys that can crash and bang against this team.
Well, Reeves hasn't had a start for a while, right? And yeah, he's not the greatest on plus minus, but 1-2 shifts or just to be on that bench to show, hey, like if things go rough, that we can fight with the best of them. And Reeves, yeah, I wouldn't want to fight him when he's on the ice. I think that I'd gotta mind my P's and Q's if I were the Vancouver Canucks. So he may be dressed. You never know. We'll have to wait till that comes out. What do you think about the toughness, Brendan, of the Vancouver Canucks and what might happen tonight?
I hope it's a physical game, but I feel like you guys might be a little disappointed. Maybe not disappointed in the physicality of the game in terms of the fights and stuff like that. I think that it's going to be one of those games where they're not going to. I think both teams come out hesitant at the beginning of the game, anyways, as to not cause trouble for themselves. You know what I mean? Not get in the box, get themselves behind or anything like that. So there might be that slight hesitation. Hopefully, the physicality does pick up throughout the game, and we do see a couple of Donnybrook's. Who doesn't love a good tilt, right?
Good stuff. Well, I'm going to throw this over to Coach Nose. He brought this up, and I think it's a very valid point because we're playing against them tonight. So we let go to Lafferty, and we traded a lot to get him. He's a great young player that's got a lot to offer. He went to Vancouver, and he's really been lighting it up there. So, Dylan, go ahead.
Yeah, it's interesting that we gave up a first rounder for this guy and McCabe, although obviously McCabe's been a nice addition to our team, steady, consistent. And we picked up this Lafferty kid who was still, still showing what he could do for the team. And they just kind of let him go after 19 games. I think they picked him up toward the end of the year, so it might have been more of a trade deadline / playoff toughness kind of pickup. And they never really gave him a chance. They let him go in that summer, and now look what he's doing. He's got 10 goals already. He's a plus 15, so you know that he's reliable on the ice, and that's something that the Leafs were really lacking. So he's going to have a bee in his bonnet tonight. He's going to be out to score against his former team. And he's been on a bit of a heater as well. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes down to the secondary scoring. It's going to be the Domies versus the Laffertys. And we'll see what happens with that matchup. That's a storyline to really watch tonight.
You have anything to say about Lafferty and us letting him go, Brendan? Do you think that was a mistake?
Yet to be determined. We'll see how he does tonight.
All right. So we wanted to make this kind of short and sweet. Didn't want it to go on, too long for our first edition of our pregame shows for the Leafs. We're gonna do it every Saturday, so you can definitely catch us every Saturday doing these pregames for you. But we'll go back to the keys to success. Got a couple notes here that I thought were really important for the Leafs. When the Leafs don't take a lot of penalties, they normally win, and we don't get scored on a lot on the power play. But I think it really drains us and we take a bunch of penalties. So one of my keys to success tonight is to not take silly penalties. Bertuzzi, stay out of the box, man. He's taken too many penalties this year. I really want him to play a good game tonight and stay out of the box, but don't take any silly penalties. Another big key to the game, I think, is to get out of the zone quickly. This team, the Vancouver Canucks, can move the puck well in the offensive zone. If we get the puck in the offense or in our defensive zone, we've got to get it out quickly, move it up the boards, get it to center ice, and then get it deep to cycle in their end, rather play in their end than ours. Carry the puck into the zone if we can. Don't dump and chase against the tough Vancouver defense because they're going to bang and crash you. They're big defensemen, going to have a tough time against them. So carry the puck if you can. William Nylander has got to carry that puck into the zone because I find that if he gets into the zone with the puck and goes right on the goalie, he's shooting. A lot of the times it's going in, and I really want him to get back on a hot streak because at the beginning of the year, boy, oh boy, Nylander was killing it. He was doing so well. Not to say that he's not doing well now, but he's kind of on that colder streak now where he's not, consistently putting the puck in the net like he was at the beginning of the year. Get people in front of Demko. Really important. This goalie's a great goalie. If he can see the puck, he's going to stop it. But if we got traffic in front of him, tip shots, I think we'll be really successful. And then also keep the puck to the outside on the defensive end. Don't let that puck come into the inside of the zone. I think Jones is really good when shots are coming from the outside and move traffic out of the front of our net. So if Vancouver's in front of our net, don't let them stand there. Give them the old 2x4 in the back, to let them know to get out of the way. But yeah, definitely got to clear that net in front of Jones so he can have a chance to see that puck. And another thing, block shots. The more shots that we block, the less that our goalie's got to save. I think it's really important. We're going to sacrifice the body for the team, block those shots from the point, especially from Quinn Hughes. Quinn's a good shot, a point shot. And a lot of his assists have come from shots from the point that get tipped in. So really, really important to block those shots. But that's my kind of thought on, the real keys to success for this team to get a W tonight. And what a huge win it would be for the Leafs. Coach Nose, what do you think? What's the big thing that Leafs got to do tonight to win this hockey game?
Well, I think their power play needs to get going again. They had last couple of games, their power play just wasn't as lights out as it needed to be. I know they think they got the one on the 4-on-3. Vancouver doesn't want to give this power play a chance. this power play is deadly, even though we're sitting maybe around 10th. I think Vancouver's right around the same mark as we are in terms of power play. So either or, like it goes both ways on the power play. There's going to be some special teams play here that's going to play a huge factor, and the big momentum shifts. But you know that building is going to be ripe with Leaf fans. So there's going to be some battles in the fans. Who knows? Who knows what social media is going to have after that? Maybe there'll be some stupid ass video of some guy fighting somebody or pouring beer on somebody else. It gets pretty raunchy in Vancouver. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think that that's going to be a factor tonight for the Leafs if we can get in there and start scoring early. Although scoring early has been a problem for us, not getting the goals, but it seems to me we get a 2 or 3 goal lead and the scoring's coming easy in the early going, and this team just goes to bed, which can't happen. We need to get in that building. We need to get the fans out of it right away with an early goal, like we did at home against this team, and defend against a team that can score and come back. So I think that's going to be an interesting storyline with the fans and what kind of momentum they can provide a road team out there in Vancouver.
3 periods. You said it right. We got to play 3 periods. At least going to fly in the first and second periods normally, and then they die down in the third. We've lost so many games in the third period, so I think that's a huge key to success. And then absolutely, we show up across the country wherever the Leafs play. We've got fans that are there, especially in Canada and especially in Vancouver. The Leafs have tons of fans there, so it should be exciting in the stands. Not even on the ice, but the game will be exciting off the ice as well. But Brendan, I want to hear you. You're not a Leaf fan, so let's say, what do you think are the keys to success for Vancouver to win this hockey game tonight?
I think the big thing is the key to success for Vancouver is to build on an early lead. Don't count on your big plays to come back from anything. Play smart. Don't give up the big turnovers or anything like that, especially trying to pinch and get up early and trying to be a hero or anything like that, right? But at the same time being aggressive. And I think for the Leafs, it's really important for them to get up early, because if they get behind in that building, I think it could be a really long night for them, especially with the uncertainty between the pipes, right?
Well, and just to add to that, as a Leaf fan, I know what it takes to beat my team, because I watched this team lose and I know what happens when this team loses. And I know exactly, it's the same story every time. It's somebody or it's some other team frustrating the core 4. And when you have an elite team like the Leafs do with the core 4, who are incredibly talented hockey players, if you can just work a little bit harder, get the sticks in their noses, get their sticks in their faces, not taking penalties or anything, but just throwing them off their game and not letting them razzle dazzle you on the ice, that will be a huge factor in any game against the Leafs, regardless of what team they're playing. And if Vancouver can do that tonight, it's going to make me real nervous and real frustrated, because these guys can, I've seen Matthews, I've seen Marner, I've seen them get so frustrated on the ice. Couple posts, they've had posts so many times this year, Nylander, and it just deflates them. So we'll see if Vancouver can do that against the Leafs tonight.
Well, a quick guess on the score, predictions. My prediction is the Leafs win in overtime 4-3. They go up by 2 goals. They blow the lead in the second period. 2-2, go into the third period, score another one, and then Vancouver ties it, go into overtime 3-3, 4-3. I say the hero tonight is going to be, let's say, Tavares tonight. Tavares scores the winner at OT. That's my prediction. What's your prediction, Dylan? What do you think is the final score tonight?
I think the Leafs are going to get down in this game, and they're going to have to find a way to win like they have. And this is going to be one of those games where they need to rally and push and hit the panic button. I don't want them to get up early. I'd rather have them come from behind, because it seems like when they play their best hockey, they're down a couple goals and their pedal is to the metal, and they put teams, they put their other teams' backs against the wall. So I'm thinking it's going to be 4-3, but I don't think it's going to be overtime. I think the Leafs are just going to come back in the third with 2 or 3 goals to win the hockey game, and then they're going to shut them down.
All right, Brennan, give it to us. I know that you're not going to be the same as us. What do you think?
No,
Who's going to win
I
this hockey game?
feel, and I could be way off, man. You know what? I hope that it's a higher scoring game than that. I'm going to put it at 6-4. The Leafs adding an empty netter at the end.
All right. So
that was my second choice.
Predicted. Yeah, but Leafs, all 3 of us predicted the Leafs are going to win tonight. So I hope that you enjoy the game.
That's also cursing them for sure.
I hope that you enjoyed this, quick 25-minute show, a pregame show. We'll be back next week, the exact same thing. Every Saturday for Leaf games, whether they're home or away, we're going to be here to provide some knowledge and get you ready for the game tonight. So thanks so much for tuning in. I do want to mention about our normal show. Keep Your Head Up Hockey normally is an 18-plus show. So if you want to watch and you're over 18 on Tuesdays, you can search us on YouTube. Keep Your Head Up Hockey Show. That's where we are. We're every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Typically go live on YouTube as well as Twitch. But can find us as well on Facebook. Keep Your Head Up Hockey. But Keep Your Head Up Hockey Show on YouTube. But yeah, we'd love to have you join in on our Tuesday shows as well, as long as you're 18 plus. If you're not, you can catch us right here on Saturdays for your pre-games for the Leafs. But a massive thank you for you tuning in today and watching and checking us out. Again, I'm Jamie, Dylan Nose, and Brendan Finch. A big thank you from Keep Your Head Up Hockey for tuning in. Go Leafs, go.
Let's go, baby.
Tonight. Right
Pucks
here, baby. Let's get it done. And good luck to Ottawa today, this afternoon, as they face off a really hot team, Winnipeg. But anyway, enjoy the games today. A big happy hockey day in Canada, and we'll see you later. Take care.